record like the last 5 seconds of what you say sometimes. I've noticed it's a bit weird because I have to go live in OBS and then wait for it to catch up on YouTube, and then it goes live on YouTube. You know what I mean?
I shared a screen, like a screen cap of my OBS setup, and there's the actions menu where
Yeah.
it says stream, says record. So I've got a question for you. Is Jared hitting stream, but it's just recording and it's sending it to his video folder?
Yep. So all he's doing is hitting the record button, and then it creates a video and saves it to like the videos section of his page or whatever.
Wait, I said he hit the stream button, not the record button, though.
Oh, well, no.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned to you before, it's just the record button. It's not streaming.
Hold on then. Like, how does he even conflate that he's streaming
I don't know.
if he's hitting the record button?
Dude, I don't understand. I don't get it.
I'm never gonna understand him.
YouTube is so annoying because, like, I just fixed it now. And it sucks because somebody who's watching might get, like, booted out, but I set everything. It always does this. I set, like, everything to members only. And then when you go live, it's like, oh, it's public. It's like, I just fucking set it to members only. Very annoying. And one thing too that makes no sense is that you can set a stream to go like public so people can watch it even if they're not members, but then you can set the chat to members only. And like maybe somebody would want to do that for a live stream if you have like a massive channel or something like fucking like Linus Tech Tips.
Right.
But it makes no sense in YouTube. I think it should just be automatically set like that. Excuse me. Like I noticed that with one of my streams, like everything had been set to members, and then I went live, and then it went live publicly. And people were like, oh, we can't see the stream, but we can see the chat. And it's like, YouTube is just fucked that way. And it's crazy because YouTube is like one of the better platforms to be on in terms of video. And it still sucks ass.
You have to think, though, YouTube is like this Frankenstein monster.
Yeah.
You know, it used to just be, oh, you can upload a video and watch a video, but now it's adapted all of these different features from other platforms. Yeah. It's crazy. And I don't know, it feels like YouTube is primarily supposed to be like, oh, you can watch entertainment here, but it wants to be so many other things. Like, it wants to be TikTok now.
Well, the thing is with YouTube, I don't necessarily think that this should be the way that it is. But YouTube now has the infrastructure to, in terms of video, be anything. It can be YouTube and TV and Twitch and TikTok all in one. You know, it can't have those communities because, as you probably know, I don't know if you've ever used Twitch. I don't really use it much, but I stream on there. And the way that kind of communities and, you know, like people speak on Twitch and stuff, it's a little different from YouTube, you know? Just like the vibes and the terms that people use on there and stuff. Chris, Andy Savage, how's it going, guys? Welcome. Just talking about YouTube and various stuff, just kind of chilling today. But yeah, like you said, it really is like this Frankenstein. But in my opinion, it kind of does everything better than any other app. Like Twitch live streaming is actually kind of dookie compared to YouTube, like in terms of like the technical side, in my opinion, from my experiences. Like Twitch will be like, your bitrate is fucked, and it's like there's nothing wrong on my end. I have great connection. I have fiber optic internet where I'm at right now, and my rig is like, it has no issues. And I know it's just a Twitch thing because it never happens when I'm on YouTube, ever. And when I go onto Twitch, it's like, oh, your bitrate's weird, and now your video looks kind of crappy. It's like Twitch itself can't maintain a bitrate. Like, I've seen this too when I went on, I did this streaming thing on ManyVids recently. It's like mostly a porn site, but they also allow people to stream, like, you know, video games or whatever. And you'll have that alongside, you know, cam girls putting dildos in their pussies and shit. And if their numbers are to be believed, I had like 66 people watching me play like Stalker Anomaly on there the other day. And it was pretty cool. There's some people in the chat like, I've never like even seen this game, what the fuck is going on? And it was pretty fun. But Like I'll give you an example. Their max streaming settings is like 30 frames a second, 720p, like a bit rate of like 4,000. And it's like that is terrible because when you're doing a gaming stream, it's like it looks like my computer can't handle the game, but it's like at the end of the day, it's really just the streaming service itself or the platform kind of gimping itself because they don't want to use this much bandwidth or they can't handle it or this or that. I don't know.
Do you think on Twitch they give more resources to like bigger channels so that they never have these issues that you're talking about?
Maybe. I don't know. I can't really speculate at all because the platform itself is still fairly new to me. I've only been using it for less than a year. Lambert Star, how's it going? What's up? Nice to see you.
Wouldn't surprise me though.
Mm-hmm.
What was that platform you said that allows porn, like titty streamers and
It's called Many Vids.
See, that's what I like though. I
Yeah.
like that there is a platform that'll have lewd content and that'll have normal content all kind of intermingled. You know, it's just.
I want to bring something funny up in a second, but finish your point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like this family friendly space where you can't use a curse word, you can't show a titty,
Mm-hmm.
It just feels stifling.
I totally get it, dude. But yeah, the funny thing is that OnlyFans is what you're describing, but when people realize that they could sell porn on it, then that's what most people used it for. Because if you go tell somebody like I make money through OnlyFans, like there are tons of people who have successful OnlyFans where it's like a girl fully clothed showing you how to make like martinis, or it's like two people podcasting instead of using Patreon, they have OnlyFans and they put their podcasts up on there. But only I just want to say this quickly. OnlyFans has colloquially become that's the place where people go and sell their porn and post like nudes. So that's like the use case that it's become. But there's plenty of people on there doing like safe for work stuff. But go ahead with what you're gonna say, dude.
And that's another aspect of this that I hate. I hate people who are like, oh, you can't show this, or like they're complaining about like Twitch and they're like, oh, there are too many titty streamers on here. Why are you complaining about like women, being scantily clothed?
A lot of it is people generally, they know that sex sells, and if they're somebody who doesn't want to do that, or they have no interest in doing a stream where they're, leaning into sexual stuff, or they're like against it or whatever to some degree, there's always that element of like being aware that this person has like this surface level thing that's going to draw people, and you to some degree don't have that. That's what a lot of it is for people. There's also a lot of incels who are like there's specifically one dude like he made this fucking freak out. He did this freak out on Twitch and he got banned for it. I don't know if it was permanently or temporarily, but I remember this probably like a couple of years ago or several years ago now. He was like, I'm tired of this is like, probably 2016 or 2017. Now I'm thinking about it, maybe 2018. He's like, I'm tired of these girls, these titty streamers coming on here. These are the girls that would have rejected us in high schools and looked down on us and spat on us. And we created our own space on Twitch where we could have nerdy fun playing video games. And now they're coming in here and they're fucking trying to crowd us out and blah, blah, blah. So really what it is like bitterness, resentment, misogyny, jealousy. Not for like all people who are complaining about that, but a decent chunk of them.
And also sour grapes. What you mentioned is like, oh, I'm too ugly, I can't do this. But in reality, they could, and there would be an audience for them too. Like, well, like if they tried.
Like I said, some people just don't want to do that, and that's totally fine. But
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if you just don't have the goods, then I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It's like you could compare it to like being a basketball player. Like, if you're not tall and athletic and, quick responses and all that stuff you need to be like, if you want to be like, let's say, a professional basketball player, then it's like you just don't have the goods to do it. And it's same with porn. Like, if you are uncomfortable having sex, you look really weird. Most people probably don't. Like, I don't know. Like I don't even want to necessarily say that because, like, most of what I would say is like if you don't know how to market yourself and you're putting stuff out that's low quality and like unmarketable and all of that, you have no social media smarts, then you just don't have the goods to do that type of stuff. Like I'll be honest, I've seen some people who are selling like nudes and stuff on Twitter, kind of like low key, and I've seen them and I've looked at them and been like, not my type, but clearly for some people they are, or they at
Yeah.
least want to see those people naked and they're willing to pay for it, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I would feel
You just got to
like
find the angle.
yeah, I would feel like most people could get into selling lewds. Like I do feel like it is a confidence thing.
Yeah.
Um, and like you said, like how to market yourself. There's only like a handful of people that I don't think could do it. But even then, I could just be wrong. Like I didn't think Cyrax could get a girlfriend, but he's had like 4 or 5.
Well, that's a whole different story. Getting a girlfriend is one thing, but getting a bunch of people to willingly not only pay for porn, but to pay for porn of you, that's like a whole nother ball game.
Dude, it's so crazy though. Is like
Also,
Cyrax could
also,
do.
I saw that. Okay, the thumbnail of that thing you posted was that Cyrax's girlfriend.
Yes, I
She
think in
looks.
the right corner.
I really don't want to be mean, but I'm just going to be honest. She looks absolutely terrible. So I understand why she was with Cyrax.
Yeah,
She was probably just clout chasing off of him, honestly.
yeah, she
And if she
was.
was somebody, not to cut you off there, but if she was somebody who was generally more attractive, then she probably wouldn't have even done that even to clout chase off of him, but because she's on that kind of like, not to be mean again, but I'm just being honest, lower level of conventionally attractive. She's probably like, fuck it, I can clout chase off this guy. I don't blame her. She probably had nothing else going for her.
Dude, she said she was willing to have his baby.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that could have happened. Cyrax could have reproduced.
Bro, no.
There could have been some Goblin Juniors
Oh no, that would have been a disaster, dude.
on so many levels. It would have gone like how Ethan Ralph's kids have gone so far. It basically like they would have tried to make it work after the baby was born, or probably in Cyrax's case, they would have tried to have him be somewhat in the child's life, but probably to like a very limited extent, you know? Maybe,
Dude,
or just completely leave them out of it entirely.
I don't even know, dude. I don't think Ethan Ralph should have any part
No.
in raising a child. I think he's proven time and time again that he's a complete mess of a person that doesn't have any interest in the well-being of others around him, no consideration.
Pill
So
popping,
yeah,
alcoholic, rage pig,
I mean,
felon.
his mom needed to go get dialysis at the hospital, and he's like, "Fuck you, go make her own way there. Fuck
Too
off,
pilled out to
bitch."
take his
It's
mom,
like,
but
what?
he wasn't too pilled out to go see Chris Chan before they were arrested.
Yeah, it wasn't too pilled out to do a fucking live stream either. I mean, if he wasn't streaming that, nobody would have known probably, but he was literally streaming. I will never understand that. It's like I am fucked up to the point of like not even being able to have like linear cohesive thought, but I'm going to do a live stream. It's like I remember I seen a couple of his live streams back in the day, and he'd be like, it'd be like 9 p.m. and he'd be like, "Yeah, I just woke up." Like, what? Wait, what? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't work a day job. I do this and various other things to make money, and I sleep in. But like, I'll sleep into like 1 or 2 o'clock, and I'm like, oh man, I should wake up earlier. you know?
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's just him though. He tried to go sober for a second. Like he
Yep.
was staying like sober spring, and I think he was doing online like Zoom call AA.
Yeah.
But there have been so many instances of him just like completely shit faced.
Yeah.
There was like a second pill stream, I think. Like there's been multiple pill streams. There was one pill stream he was just talking to himself, just blabbering.
Fucking weird,
So
bro.
fucking weird.
It's fucking
Yeah.
weird, bro. Oh my god.
It was like he was talking to his A logs.
fucking it made me think of like Jared. Have you ever seen that clip of him like talking to himself when he doesn't realize that he's gone live for the first like 10 seconds? And he's just like
Really?
talking to himself. Yeah.
What was he saying to himself?
I can't remember exactly, but he was just like fucking. He was muttering like what's his name? What's that character's name? Yosemite Sam. He's just like muttering under his breath, just like curses and threats, like fucking piece of shit. I don't remember exactly, but oh hey baby, just got back from work. Still got headphones on. You have a good day at work?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I wish there was a way to get this fucking stupid shit in the live stream chat to go away where it's like a giant block of text. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. It's like, fuck off, man. I wish there
They
was a way
have
to like
to,
close it. It's so
yeah,
annoying. I hate looking
they-
at it.
YouTube Premium has to. They have to advertise YouTube Premium. That's why.
Yeah, one thing I didn't even notice is that if you're a YouTube Premium subscriber, I think it gives you like free access to people's memberships or something. It's very strange.
To everyone's membership. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very odd. I
So-
don't know if it's like everyone's membership programs, but
Maybe it gives you like a
I don't know.
handful, maybe like 3 free memberships.
well, I'll read
For
this.
so many
I'll
months.
read this thing it says in the chat. This is YouTube's own written thing here. Only YouTube Premium members and channel members can post in this live chat.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
it's including like YouTube Premium members as like members instead of just like channel members. It's a bit odd, but it is what it is. They do that
Remember
on
when-
they do that on like Pornhub too. If you have like a premium membership, they give you like a bunch of like premium content that's like for like people's like fan clubs they call them.
Can you get it out by editing the HTML? I don't know. Don't think so.
I don't have well see the thing is like in OBS here, because I'm having to window capture it. Oh wait, you know what? I'm thinking about this wrong. Hold up. Let's see. Let me see if I can actually remove it, because there might be a way to remove it now that I'm thinking about it. Inspect. Okay, inspect this part right here. Is there a way to fucking delete it? Let's see what that did.
Just removed all of chat.
No, I'm not good enough with fucking around with HTML. I know how to do. I know how to fuck around with a page to make like the title of a video say like Jared's a pedophile or something, which I did the other day, and I posted a photo of it because I was bored. I was like, people will probably find this funny, but yeah, I don't know. I give it one more try here quickly. But yeah, you said you wanted to talk about this fucking Matt Walsh bullshit earlier. We might as well get into that.
Yeah, I was on Reddit on the subreddit Toilet Paper USA, and I saw this meme of Matt Walsh. It said it was him, like his face, like photoshopped over a baby, and it said, "Don't Google Matt Walsh this." And I think it was like adult diaper fetish or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then I found out that he was selling baby like baby plushies of himself to like give to children.
Yeah. By the way, Lambert, thanks for the suggestion. I cut out most of the annoying crap there, so it isn't as obtrusive. Thank you for the suggestion. I should have thought of that. But yeah, dude, it's like so obvious, at least to me, that these weirdos are flaunting like their pedo stuff while calling other people groomers. It's like I've heard this expression before that's really true. I've started using it myself. Pretty much every accusation from a conservative that they throw out is an admission of something on their own end. So, you know, they start accusing other people of this or that. They start freaking out about trans people. It's usually because they themselves have some issue, like, you know, they want to fuck a trans person and that makes them uncomfortable. Or we have like all of these insane stories about these people who turn out to be pedophiles. But before anybody found out, they were like, we're working for the Stop Pedophiles organization. And it's like, oh my fucking God, you know? Because
Yeah,
it puts them in direct access to these vulnerable kids. Fucked up.
yeah. Remember when you used to have to be a pedophile? You had to like join a church, you know, be like a Boy Scout leader.
I was about to bring that up. Did you see the report that came out about the Catholic Church? I think the AP put it out
Uh,
over the last couple of decades. If you hadn't heard of it, they've uncovered like in the U.S. thousands and thousands of pedophiles who victimized like countless children. Crazy, dude. It's crazy.
I think it was thousands of victims, but hundreds of
You know what?
priests.
Actually, yep, you might be right. That's my bad. Yeah. Still,
Yeah.
though, it doesn't. It's like, oh,
Well, that's more
sorry.
damning, though. That's more
Yeah.
damning. These
Yeah.
aren't single instances. These are a priest was in a
Yeah.
parish and then they did
Yeah.
something wrong. People
Yeah.
started talking, and then the church moved them to another parish.
Yep, they just move them around. They just move them like, oh, whoops, and then they move them somewhere else. And it's like you're literally allowing these pedophiles to not only go unpunished, but you're allowing them to they're covering up for them, and then they're moving them to somewhere else and giving them a fresh start so they can do it all over again.
Yeah, it's the pedophile shuffle.
The sex offender shuffle, as Jean Lejoy. Is it Lejoy or Lejoy? I don't know. You know who I'm talking about, though. That guy made
I
funny ass videos back in the day. The guy who made Show Me Your Genitals.
Oh yeah, it's been so long. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that when I was in high school
I
and
think he
thinking
made
that
a
was like the funniest shit.
I think he made a song or a video about like pedophile glasses or something too. These glasses will instantly turn you into a guy who looks like he's about to rape a kid or something. He made a lot of edgy content back in the day.
A lot of people did. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah.
like Rucka Rucka Ali?
Dude, I knew you were gonna say that as soon as you were like, yeah, people made edgy content. I'm like, oh fucking god, like Rucka Rucka, Ray William Johnson, a bunch of people popped into my head like immediately.
Rucka Rucka Ali was like casually just doing Asian racism
Yeah,
all the time.
the thing, you know what the fucked up thing is too? When I was probably like, I don't know, 11 or 12 years old, I thought that was the funniest shit in the world. Because I
Same.
didn't know any better, you know? You're like, oh, it's funny because he's Chinese and he's going like, but then you grow up and you're like, oh.
That was fucked up of me. God damn, why did I think that was funny?
I don't even think it like, here's the thing. I don't even think it's like, oh my God, it's so fucked up that I was a dumb kid and I found some dumb shit funny that I didn't understand the ramifications of. Like, I don't feel bad about it. I'm more just like amazed at, you know, how conscious people are of that stuff now, only like 15 years later, you know? 10, 15 years go by and people are like re-examining because like I don't know, I feel like there was a lot less of that before, and a lot of this
Yeah.
shit like I think we can trace a lot of stuff honestly back to the introduction of not only the internet but then cell phones on top of that, where anybody could record anything that was going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we had the first couple of we had like the internet 1.0 generation, but that stuff was way more scattered across the internet. So the generation that came after that, that was using Facebook, Twitter, you know, as like teenagers and growing into adulthood, that was like the first generation that realized like, oh shit, all the dumb shit that you say as a kid, if you record that and put it out there and you have even a modicum of success and you grow up, people will dig all of that shit up and be like, look at what they said when they were 15. It's like,
Yeah, it's the social media generation.
yeah. Dude, the fucking I've heard I don't know what they call this new generation that's like, I think they mark it at like 2010 and after or something, or 20
Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha, that's what they call them.
Yeah.
I've heard from some people who've been like teachers. And of course it's like I've heard it's like different when you go to like different countries, different cultures, whatever, different regions, but I've heard some fucking horror stories about like kids that just like do not communicate. If they don't have like an iPad or whatever in front of them, they just start screaming. They can't even do like regular school because they're like functionally addicted to these devices. You know, you take it away from them and they start having like anxiety and like it's fucking weird, dude. Like it's just it's fucked up.
I mean,
It's really worrying when I just want to say it's really worrying when parents give really young kids devices like that and just let them do whatever. It can be really fucking dangerous and harmful, in my opinion.
yeah, I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I don't want to sound like, some boomer that, you know what I'm talking
I
about.
feel like
Like,
I sound like a boomer. Where I'm
yeah,
like,
a
these
little
kids and their
bit,
devices.
a little bit,
Yeah.
because like,
No, I
I
acknowledge
have,
that.
I have two nephews. They, I don't think they have smartphones because they would just break them.
Yeah.
But they've had tablets. They play on their Switch. They still play outside and stuff. I feel like it's just how good of a parent you are, and
I was
just
gonna
like,
say that, yeah.
and also, if I was a teacher, I'd just be like, hey, this is 7 hours of you not playing on your phone. Just put them in a bin. We're gonna put them up, and you can get them at the end of class.
For a kid, 7 hours is like a fucking lifetime, you know? But
Yeah,
going off of what you said too, I was gonna say that as well. Like it really does matter the context that's surrounding all of that in a kid's life. Like I don't think it's necessarily like gonna fuck a kid up just from having access to an iPad from an early age. But there's levels to it, right? Having unrestricted access to the internet. Um like you said, smartphone versus an iPad. Smartphone has like more capabilities, more communicative capabilities. Although people honestly just use messenger apps most of these days to talk to each other. But that's what
yeah.
I was gonna say too. Like some people allow their kids to use social media when they're like 12, 13, and it's like, you know what I mean? Shit is not set up properly. Like I remember people complaining about sex workers posting stuff on TikTok that's like kind of lewd. It's kind of like, they're trying to entice people to come over to their OnlyFans. And
Yeah, click the link.
people are like, this is a children's app. Blah 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 blah.
It's not a children's app.
It's really not. But here's the thing. I pointed this out. I'm like, okay, let's talk about Twitter for a second. And this is how you really lay this out, and because people don't even think about this, for example. It's like, what is the minimum age you have to be in their terms of service to use Twitter? Do you know what it is?
To use Twitter, probably like 15, if I
I
had to
don't know.
guess.
I don't know if it's
13.
still the same, but I believe it's 13 years old.
Yeah, that's the same for TikTok. If you're
Yeah.
under 13 years old, they're going to ban you.
However, the reason I'm using Twitter as an example is because Twitter allows porn on their platform.
Yeah.
So if you're allowed to make a Twitter at age 13, we all acknowledge that, kids, like in the paradigm where we have, you remember as a kid, you go to a site, click a thing, oh, are you 18? Obviously, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, like everyone knows that was bullshit. But this kind of like issue where it's like you have a platform that allows porn, but in the terms of service, 13-year-olds are allowed to use it. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because if you're a parent, I don't even know if there's a way that you can set up like a kid's Twitter account. Like, see if a 13-year-old kid and you set up a Twitter account for them. I don't even know if there's a way to block all the porn that's on the site. I don't think there is a possible way to do that on Twitter. So I've thought about it before, and it's like, I honestly think Twitter and like those sites that are going to allow porn, I think that you should have to be 18 years old, at least in the terms of service, to use them. Like
Yeah.
YouTube does that. And YouTube these days is doing a sort of like ID verification with their new accounts and stuff now, setting up authentication with phone numbers. Now, it's not foolproof, but at the same time, they at least will age gate content and make sure that people who are saying they're 18, at least saying they're 18, are, going on and being able to access that stuff or not being able to access it. But with something like Twitter, like it doesn't make any sense. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have a different take on that, but like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I had a few ideas about it. I was thinking to myself, like, oh, well, we could just block the content, but like you said, we can't block all of the content
Yeah,
that's
you're not going to be
lewd
able
on
to
Twitter.
effectively block all of it.
And then I thought, like, oh, well, there should be two Twitters, one for like underage people and one
See,
for
I've
of
thought
age
about
people.
that
But then
too.
then I thought to myself, like, why should there be a Twitter for a 13-year-old? You
Yeah,
know, like, why do they need one?
honestly, in
Like,
my opinion,
unless
go
they're like
ahead.
Greta, yeah, unless they're like Greta Thunberg when she first started, you
Hmm.
know, she like
Public individual,
yeah,
yeah.
even she didn't need a Twitter. Honestly, who cares?
Well, the reason I bring it up is because people are going to use these platforms regardless, so there should at least be some consistency. And honestly, I've thought about the whole like I've thought about it too. Like for honestly for like at least a couple months when I was like really trying to refine my own position on this and doing research and think about it. I was at a point where I'm like, all right, we need to split the internet off into adults and we need to have an internet for we need to have like kinder internet. But I'm thinking about it and it's like you're gonna have to make both parts of the internet, the adult part and the kid part, so authoritarian and locked down to ensure that adults are using the adult version and kids are using the kids version. It's almost to a point where it's like you take away so much of like the freedom and potential anonymity that you have on the internet. It's like I don't know if I'm okay with that system because if you don't do that, then how are you properly going to be able to verify that pedos aren't going onto the kids app and then, you know, pretending to be a kid and then preying on kids through there, doing fucking disgusting pedo shit, maybe trying to victimize them in real life.
Yeah,
So
hold on.
it's like, you
I
know what I mean? It's a very complex issue.
Yeah, hold on. Lambert Starr says, I think if you set your age under 18, it won't allow you to see the NSFW stuff.
I can tell you for certain because I promote my porn on Twitter that Twitter does not have a consistent like ability to mark stuff if people don't mark it as not safe for work themselves. And it's like we said before, like because they allow that content on there, which I don't think is a bad thing, but there's going to be people posting it, and you can't always rely on everyone to tag their own. Oh, make sure you tag your own because that's something you can do. You can post something and then tag it like, oh, this contains like nudity. So then it is like spoilered for people before they open it in public or whatever. Like they have some things like that on Twitter. But my point is that like effectively, you really can't block that stuff. And like I don't know too, because the thing is like if somebody posts porn to Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, it gets taken down pretty quickly because they take that stuff very seriously because they have to, because the people providing them the infrastructure and the advertisers won't allow it on there because it's part of the agreements, you know, don't allow porn on your platform. Certain advertisers don't care, but the advertisers at YouTube and Instagram and Meta, whatever, like to court, those are the ones that a lot of times pay more, right? The more, you know, like the Coca-Cola or whatever. But
Yeah.
anywhere, back to what we were saying, like there's no effective way to do any of this without getting super locked down and authoritarian with how you manage users on these sites. So it's almost like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. I think at least Twitter, if they're going to allow porn, which I think is good, and I think they should continue doing that. I think they should allow. I think they should make you have to be 18 years old to make an account on there. That's just my
Yeah.
opinion.
And as for the age gate, where it's when you first click on a website and it asks you, are you 18? I think that they're doing enough there, the website providing the service. And I think that the person that should really be monitoring
Is the
like their
parents.
kids, yeah, is the
Yep.
parents at that
I was
point.
about to say that. Yeah, I was about to get into that. Yeah, no, you're right.
And
I
you know
agree
what?
with you.
And you know what? If you're like a 14-year-old Lordyourgod and you don't have your parent over your shoulder, you know, I'm clicking that. Like I was clicking that "Are you 18?" button. I was like,
Yeah,
sure,
I think a
18
lot of
minus
people
4.
I think a lot of people when they were younger took advantage of that lax system. Yeah, obviously. But what I was going to say too is pretty much what you were going to say. Like, if a kid has this device and they're, you know, underage, more than likely or almost certainly that device was bought or, you know, bought by their parents or at least given to them by their parents. And if you're going to give somebody who's under the age of 18 a device like that, then it's kind of up to you as a parent to block all of those sites, do research, find out, where you can access porn from. There's the obvious sites, Pornhub and stuff, OnlyFans, whatever. But then, a parent would probably have to block like Twitter, Reddit, other places where they host porn. Reddit's another example too. I think you can make an account when you're like underage, but they host porn on there. Strange. I think they're going through an issue with that right now because I think they're trying to go like public as a company and do all this shit where they're like doing all this like corporate fuckery so they can become like a bigger and more powerful corporation. And they're having a problem because a lot of advertisers or just a lot of people in the public sector who do this type of shit are like, oh, you need to get porn off the platform. And it's like, if you do that, you're going to kill a huge chunk of Reddit because a huge chunk of Reddit is used for porn, just like a huge chunk of Twitter is used for porn and Tumblr was in the past. Tale as old as time, or at least the internet, Again and again and again, we run into these things. But it's like you said, like, it's really up to the parents to do this shit. And that's the position that I always come back around to when I kind of talk to people about this stuff. Because, like you said before, um, like this idea that we have to like nerf everything so that kids aren't like exposed to it, like there's some I'll admit, like, definitely I think there's places that people should be able to go, like restaurants or even like an app or whatever it is, service, product that's family friendly. But there's been this push to make everything family friendly now. And that shit is like cancerous because you end up in a world where there's no spaces for adults. And that is terrible. That is terrible as an adult. And I think it actually kind of contributes to this like weird infantilization of a lot of like, like I would say Gen X millennials and younger, where there's this like neat like man-child problem that's going on. I think like Jared is a good example of that. Just a bunch of fucking people who aren't willing to do anything. And I'm not just saying like, oh, they're lazy layabouts that won't work, but it's more just like people who have no goals, no ambitions. All they do is consume internet content or play video games. And hey, I love doing both of those things, but you also need to like do something with your life, support yourself, don't leech off of other people. I don't know. Lambert says a bunch of Reddit porn subs are getting deleted because they're unmoderated. You want to know something that's actually not true? I don't know the full story behind it, but I actually promote some of my porn stuff on Reddit. Like I post free clips, kind of like as previews on Pornhub, and I have like the full premium scenes that you have to buy on like other sites like OnlyFans and stuff. And I'm on like the second or third subreddit that I've had to jump to because they just get banned outright. And you know what? I know that I know that those subreddits were moderated because I would have to talk to the mods in order to get approved to post stuff. And I would see stuff getting removed. I would see people getting banned. So that whole thing where it's like, oh, they're unmoderated, it's not true. Those subreddits that are getting banned, maybe some of them are unmoderated. But in my opinion, this is speculation, I think it's part of a wider slow incremental push towards just completely removing porn from Reddit. Like what they're going to do is they're going to reduce the amount of porn subreddits to the point where there's only a couple, and then they're going to kind of crowd everyone into those subreddits and either keep those and kind of section them off, or they'll just outright ban them. And instead of like a shit ton of different communities, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when they started like deplatforming Alex Jones and other people. Not that I thought, that was necessarily a bad move, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's kind of like a test. Like, how much of this can we get away with? How many of these undesirables or, undesirable subreddits, for in this example, can we remove? And, people can't really do anything. So they do it slowly instead of outright banning all of it. I think, like, once again, it's speculation. This is my own hypothesis, I should just say, not really a theory because I don't have any evidence. But all I can tell you is a ton of porn subreddits were being moderated, but they just got banned outright. And it was some of the biggest ones, too, that I was using. And it's frustrating, too, because I was doing good numbers on there, and then they fucking went and banned all of them. So then we had to go to, like, smaller ones to promote our stuff and, get less clicks, but it is what it is. Honestly, there's just like this insane puritanical push within the last couple of years to just like get rid of porn or like ban porn or like make it illegal. Like I don't know, some of you fuckers in the US, I'm not including you in this, but fucking insane, man. I don't even know how to respond most of the time other than like these dorks are insane. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, these insane people in the US government. I don't know, what's your take on that? You live in fucking a state now that's like not a great state for that. Oh, your mic died. Oh fuck. Hold up. Do you have any other microphone you can use? While you're figuring that out, I'm gonna go grab a water. But yeah, see if you can find like any mic to use at all. You packed up all your crap. We've been going for 40 minutes. If you want to take 5 to just try and find a microphone you can use, I'm gonna grab some water and I'll be back, and I can vamp for like 5 minutes by myself just to take a look, I guess. Yeah. Be right back, guys. 1 sec. I'm just gonna grab some water. I'll be right back. All right. Give Gord a minute here to see if he can fix his microphone. We've already done like 40-something minutes though, so if we have to wrap it up in 5-10 minutes, it's all good. We can just do a little bit of a short one today. You see, I'm gonna smoke a bowl here. I'll show you guys something quickly. This song, I'm putting this song out soon. It's not 100% done, but it's pretty close in terms of like everything. I just need to maybe get the mix sounding a little bit better. I gotta tell you guys, I had the worst panic attack last night after I finished streaming that I've had in probably close to a year or something like that. Yeah, that stream just took so much out of me, and I was like drinking and smoking as well. I get this thing if I get a little too fucked up and I'm not taking my anti-panic attack meds, which I only have to take once in a while if I have a panic attack. I can have like a pretty big, I can have a pretty bad one, but I haven't had one like that in a long time. It was like full body, like oh. It lasted like an hour. It was terrible. That shit is like the worst. Honestly, it's terrible stuff. And the fact that like my whole body tenses up and all my muscles get like extremely tense. Oh, Gord found his webcam. Excellent. Hope you guys can still hear me over the music. It's hard to tell sometimes. Jared OD. Honestly, part of it, like it wasn't like a Jared OD, but like just the amount of like energy I was putting into the stream and everything, it came back to bite me in the ass later because it kind of like got me worked up. Yo, what's up?
Yeah, how can you hear me?
Yeah, the audio's not great, but it's also not terrible. It's like very much acceptable, so we can continue.
It's like you said on my first live stream. If it works, it works.
Yep. 100%. I'm just ripping a bowl here, showing people this track I'm going to be dropping soon.
Dude, so you said you were talking about my state earlier, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you let people know what state you're in, but I didn't say because I didn't know if you were talking about it.
I mean, I'll let people know what state I was in last time. I'm in Florida.
Okay,
yeah. I'm in Florida. Ron DeSantis is my governor, and I don't know how to feel about that.
He's really not your governor though, because he's been like, what has he been doing since his re-election? He's pretty much just been campaigning.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like he is your governor, but at the same time, like, is he really governing in Florida right now?
I don't know. I need to learn more about like the local government and how it works and who are the big players, all that sort of stuff. All I know is that there are a lot of people who like him and there are a lot of people who hate him.
How much do you know about him?
Not much. All I know is what he's been talking about recently. Like his whole like campaign is just anti-wokeness.
I was gonna say, yeah, pretty much his entire thing is like, Florida is where woke goes to die. I mention woke literally every 3 seconds. He mentioned he used the word woke in at a rally or like a speech or something recently. 7 times in 23 seconds, and somebody was like, "Oh, it's a personal record," and then somebody else chimed in. They're like, "Actually, no. Here's a speech from a couple months ago. He used the word woke 7 times in 20 seconds." Like he's setting like world records for talking about wokeness.
Yeah, it's so crazy though. Like, I actually live in a state now where voting is important. You know.
Yeah.
I know Florida has turned more red, you know, over the past like few election cycles, but still, this is.
I mean, would you disagree? Not to cut you off, but would you disagree with me saying that it is a red state effectively at this point? Some people still say it's a what do you call it? A fucking, not a flip state,
purple.
A purple
like,
state. What's the other term? A swing state. That's that's the term I was looking for. Would you say it is still a swing state?
Maybe. It just depends. I feel like the Democratic Party has just, you know, been shit in the bed over the past few years. But you know,
yeah, I mean, you're right on that.
Yeah, but you know, it's crazy. There was like a recent Kyle Kalinske video where he was like, if the Attorney General for the state of Texas didn't rig the election for Trump, like it would have swung blue.
Yep, exactly.
So there might be some fuckery going on like that in this state too. I wouldn't, I wouldn't put it past it.
Yep, they fuck with the mail-in ballots. They gerrymander like crazy, and then they do voter suppression. They make it harder for people to vote. They literally put out disinformation to discourage black people and people of color from voting because they know that a lot of them vote Democrat.
Yeah. It's a crazy
thing. Especially in cities.
Yeah, I live in a city in Florida, and let me tell you, it's either old people or Spanish-speaking people here.
Yep.
It's no in between.
The old white people are just like extremely racist a lot of the times towards the Spanish-speaking people, even if they're not like ethnically Mexican. It's very weird. This is America, speak English. And it's like, bitch, I was born here. Shut up.
No, I was actually kind of having a little bit of culture shock because like I'm from like northern Louisiana. Northern Louisiana, by the way, just Arkansas. And hearing people like speak Spanish in front of you, it's not like I've never heard it before, you know, but just
something you're not used to.
Yeah, I was in the bank and I was trying to talk to this old lady that was in front of me in line to see the teller. And she just like looked at me and waved kind of when I was trying to talk to her. And then I realized you don't speak English.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's just something I'm going to have to get used to.
And try learning some Spanish, yeah.
That is something that I've been trying to do too.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn French. I had to put it on hold for a while because I've been pretty busy with other stuff, but I want to get back to it once I'm done the Jared documentary and other things that I'm working on.
Yeah, once you put Jared down, you're like, I'm gonna better myself.
Oh no, I was already doing like all this stuff before, but like once I committed to doing the Jared doc, I think I announced it in like February or March of this year. So it's been like a couple or like a handful or several months, I don't know. And I was doing so much stuff before that. Like I told you before, I was like learning to code. I was also like learning French at the same time, and I had to put all this crap on the back burner. Also writing the book that I'm working on. Like I'm not
Right.
doing any of that stuff because I'm having to fucking do all this bullshit for the Jared documentary.
I don't remember you saying you're writing a book.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while now. It's very much a work in progress.
Okay, what's it about?
It's a it's a fiction novel. Um I don't know if I'd necessarily call it like science fiction. I'd say it's more, I don't know. Like it's definitely like kind of sci-fi, but it's not like hard sci-fi, you know?
It's like science fantasy.
Maybe you could call it that. I'm still working out a lot of the details of like what the fuck is even going on with like the story and everything. Like basically what I can tell you is this, and it's not because like I don't want to tell you, but it's like this is the only consistent through line that I have for the story. It's about a guy who basically leaves Earth in the future. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do like Earth as we know it 200 years from now or like alternate timeline Earth. The way that I started writing it initially, I started writing like a whole lore tome. And then I kind of just scrapped it because it was getting complex to the point where I couldn't keep up with myself, you know? Like
So,
I came up with I'll tell you this quickly though cuz it's I think it's interesting. I came up with this whole alternate history where it's like it's an alternate history that splinters off from ours like during World War II. It's like what if other countries developed nukes and also had like advanced technology so it wasn't just the US dominating the world and like all these countries like Canada and like Pakistan and shit were like basically just as powerful and influential as the US, but they were all like vying for control of like resources on the planet. And it was stuff like that. And part of it was like when the first moon mission happened, it was like a joint thing with like a bunch of different countries and they found like alien technology on there. Kind of like how in T2, where they find the chip that allows them to reverse engineer future technology and birth Skynet. It wasn't necessarily like inspired directly from that, but I kind of realized it was like a similar type of thing where it's like, you find advanced technology, you reverse engineer it. And I had all these ideas, but then I kind of just scrapped that because I'm like, I'd rather tell a story that's about Earth as we know it, if we don't fix things in the future. But yeah, anyways, go ahead with what you're going to say.
yeah, I was gonna ask you before you kept on, like if your story was gonna be kind of like an alternate timeline guy, kind of like, but you said it was in the future, right? So I was thinking, kind of like in Star Trek terms, where you have like the future, where it's like our future or supposed future, where we have a federation of planets. Humans have evolved past,
Yeah,
socially at least, not physically, but
yeah.
they've put a lot of ideas behind them, a lot of bad ones, and they've come together more as a collective. And then you have the alternate evil timeline, which is the Terran Empire, where
That's
everyone has.
yeah, that's more of what I'm going for, honestly. Like the
So
story.
wait, you think that if the United States didn't dominate the world economically and also with the bomb, that we'd be living in a worse timeline?
No, it was just how I had envisioned like a potential future where, instead of having one country that's as powerful and influential as the US, you have that kind of split between like a bunch of different countries that are working together but still at odds because, people are fucking tribalistic. But
Yeah.
I kind of scrapped that idea and what I'm going for now is I didn't explain, like I explained that the guy was leaving Earth to go somewhere, but I didn't explain beyond that because I got caught up with the fucking other shit talking about like the scrapped idea for the alternate timeline. But
You ever read Slaughterhouse-Five?
no, I've heard about it though. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, it's about a man who jumps back and forth in time between his alternate selves. Like in one scenario, he's in the war, and then another scenario, he's a child, and then another, he's on another planet in an alien zoo where aliens come and they look at him. You know,
Yeah.
it's a pretty good read.
No, I need to read that at some point. Honestly, I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, I
Um,
accidentally just picked it up one day when I was in the library, and I was like, "Whoa, this is awesome!" And apparently, it's a banned book now. I think in this state, um,
that's weird.
it's so fucked up. Like that actually kind of hits me now.
Yeah, the
That
U.S. is going to complete shit right now. It's a fucking disaster.
it really is. You were saying that like the United States is becoming a third world country. Yeah,
I would argue that at this point it is. I've
yeah,
seen I've seen things. I've been shown things like the devastation of a lot of like Rust Belt towns. You just go through and it's like people talk about Detroit, bro. You go to like some random like deltas and shit, like there's 2,000 people living in a town and like 90% of the buildings are like bombed out abandoned houses that like a quarter of the population is effectively squatting in because they're all broke and they're doing fucking like heroin, and then the people who actually have money are living in like this like tiny affluent suburb that's like 3 streets and it uses like the same amount of water that fucking like it's like 1 billion Olympic swimming pools. I'm exaggerating, but like you know what I mean. Like we
yeah,
have these like pockets of well, I'll say we, but I'm Canadian. But honestly, there's like examples of it in Canada too. It's just not as pronounced.
yeah.
You know,
And
like you guys have like a lot of problems that we have, but just so fucking worse that it's like indescribable. So yeah, without like going into it too much more and just going off on a fucking tangent, with that
you went
alone, I would say the U.S. is a third world country.
Yeah, you went to Saratoga.
I
Yeah,
went I
recent.
went all around, dude. I was in Houston and I was in Beaumont and I was in everywhere in between that's in the country, pretty much.
Yeah, but you see, like these in between, like big city areas, like these small towns, are just run down,
Yeah.
and even a lot, like large parts of like the big cities too, like these sub cities. Some of them are run down. It, and there's just no incentive to fix them up and make them livable for people.
Yeah. Lambert says I'd move to the US any day to be honest, and I'm doing pretty well compared to a lot of people here in Brazil. I mean, hey, that's totally fair. I think
Yeah,
honestly like I'm speaking as somebody who lives in Canada, and in my opinion I have it a lot better than a lot of people in the US, particularly because if I have cancer tomorrow, I don't have to pay a single fucking cent for it, you know? And I don't say that to brag, it's more of just like an observation of a fact. But
yeah,
there's when you live in this country or that country, it's degrees of subjectivity, you know? Like my brother is in my opinion kind of an idiot, but he's his own guy with his own opinions. He thinks that like he told me before not too long ago, he's like the US healthcare system is way better than Canada. Like people fly there all the time to get treatment cuz we have to wait here and they want it right away. And I'm
yeah.
like,
The rich.
I don't. Yep, exactly. I was about to say, if you have the money to pay for it, the American healthcare system, from what I've heard, is pretty good. They have some of the best doctors and surgeons and whatever in the world. But the thing is they're attracted there by a capitalistic system that pays them a shit ton of money, and they get paid probably more than a lot of places because the system is privatized there in America, and they can charge more for it, and therefore people can make more money. It's just how it works, you know. And if you, like you said, if you have the money to like I was thinking about this earlier today. You know, I was like, you have to have the money to fly. Like, if you're in Canada and you're on a waiting list for this or that, you might have complications before you get the treatment. But if you don't have the money to fly to America and then pay expenses while you're there, as well as paying for the privatized healthcare, then you just can't do it. But in Canada, you at some point will get that treatment, as opposed to in America where you're just fucked. Like there's stories of people who died because they couldn't pay for their insulin or whatever. They were rationing their insulin in a dangerous way because they couldn't pay for it in America. And you look at how much that drug costs in like Canada or Mexico compared to America, the American healthcare system is a scam. There's no way to argue against that. And if you have the money to pay for all this shit, then it's like, sure, then that's good.
Yeah,
But most people don't have that money. That's just a fact. So,
yeah.
you
Like
know,
Lambert, I know how you feel. Like I'm doing better than like like I'd say like 40% of the people like live in the U.S.
yeah.
At least, and I would rather move to Canada. You know, it's like it's like a step up. You know,
Yeah.
but even then, if I lived in
people,
Canada, I'd probably want to live somewhere else too. Honestly,
people like know about this, and that it's like hard for people to like move to Canada if you're like American or like European or just like some random person. Like they might want you in here if you're like a fucking crazy like rich person, and they're like, oh yes, please come here and live here and give us all your money. But for the average person, they're just like, nope, because like we know how dope it is here, and it's there's gonna come a certain point where everybody's gonna want to move here, and they're like super selective about it. Me personally, I think they should let more people in because I think we need more people in this country, and I think we should also be subsidizing them moving to less populated areas so we can build this fucking country up a little bit more. Because everyone lives basically closer to the southern border, like where it's like U.S. Canada border, southern border of Canada.
right?
But
Like
yeah, I don't
I
know.
went,
Like
I went to
if you want to move up here, you gotta marry somebody up here. That's pretty much the best way.
yeah, I went to college in Louisiana, and I would talk to these foreign students, and I eventually got a job with one, and they were being sent back because their job wouldn't sponsor them to stay in the United States. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you were educated at the same place I was educated. You have a degree. Why would we not want to keep you? If we have so much need for certain individuals, especially with like a STEM degree, why would we not want you? And that just
Yeah.
baffles me.
See, the thing is, I've heard people say like, you know what the term brain drain is, right? Where like some of the top like professional surgeons, or like professional like somebody like that who's like highly skilled, specialized, like sought after. They'll move to like let's say from Russia to Canada or America, and you lose a lot of people who are like that. So when it comes to highly specialized or highly skilled, highly sought after people like that you might be searching for in an economic sense in your country,
Yeah,
they just kind of drain out into like countries where they're like, I would rather live here. Like fuck living in fucking the outskirts of Moscow and Moscow in a fucking shack. I'm gonna go live in Canada, have like a better life, and
but
then they just lose those people.
here's the thing though, like the United States, like I understand other countries wanting to keep their talented individuals, the people that were educated overseas, but like if you were educated in the United States and you've lived here for years and you speak the language, and you've not committed any crimes, and for the US especially, if you're not educating your citizens, other than them having to pay for it, and you have this
So
demand, why would you not accept these people?
here's one answer that I've heard from before, and obviously there's probably a lot of different answers because there's probably a lot of factors I don't know, and I don't agree with this assertion, but I've heard people say like, "Oh, it's because we don't want foreigners coming in and then making a bunch of money and then sending it out of the U.S. to like Mexico, because then that money is essentially in at least in the take that they're giving there. They're trying
Yeah,
to
but
say that the money is leaving like the U.S. economic system. You
that's
know,
quote
that's
unquote
their argument. That's like
yeah,
one of their arguments. I don't agree
and
with that.
that's a stupid argument because that's for unskilled, quote unquote, unskilled labor.
Mhm.
And those individuals still get paid, and they still go to states like Florida that has higher restrictions on illegal immigrants now. Like, have you heard about the trucker ban? Like, a bunch of Latinos are like, "Hey, we're not
Well,
driving here."
I don't think it was a trucker ban, but what it was is
Boycott.
it was oh yeah, the trucker boycott. Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. I like that's what's gonna like that's what people should be doing in response to this type of stuff, and I'm glad that I'm seeing people do this kind of stuff, because people really need to stand up when this fucking fascistic shit is implemented, especially when like so much of the US is run off immigrant labor. That's like,
Under the table
I
immigrant
was
labor.
about to say, yeah, they're not being paid in a legally acknowledged sense. They're taken advantage of. They're threatened with deportation if they like, protest working conditions or anything like that. They're like, oh, we'll just fucking report you to ICE or whatever.
Hold
Like
on.
it's a fucked up system, dude.
Here's the other fucked up thing. They'll say that like these immigrants don't pay taxes. If you live in a state, hold on, I'm looking up Florida sales tax right now.
I was about to say, yeah, there's all sorts of taxes that you pay, even just
Yeah.
buying things, making money and buying things. Lambert in the chat said, that's my plan. Essentially, specialize in what I'm doing right now. Find a remote job in a better country and eventually move. I would personally recommend checking out the Netherlands. You might like it there, but I don't know. Maybe you prefer America. I wish I could kind of effortlessly just move to the Netherlands for like half a year every year. That'd be cool.
What is it?
Try to.
Some crazy amount that you need. You need like $4 million to just buy your way into any country.
Something like that. Yeah, they want you. They're like, oh yeah, you could go through this like process where you're like 99.9% chance gonna be denied. Or you could just give us like a bunch of money and you can become a citizen. It's, make a generous donation. They always phrase it like that. But it's
Yeah.
basically like, yeah, just give us a bunch of money and just buy your citizenship.
What stops individuals associated with like the Taliban from doing that? You know?
The
Are they
same
just
the same thing that, stops somebody from renting an apartment because they're being racist. It's, the discrimination that goes into decision making with all that stuff, good or bad or neutral discrimination,
okay?
Because like a landlord can discriminate against somebody because they have terrible credit. I look up a credit report. It's like they never pay their bills. It's like, okay, this person's probably going to squat here. And I fucking hate landlords, but I'm just using an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you were
Like, you're
talking.
discriminating against somebody because they're a potential financial liability. You don't think they're going to fucking rent that apartment or pay their rent or whatever, too, right? But I
You were
don't know. I hate
talking.
landlords anyways, but I'm just using an example of like what you might describe as neutral discrimination.
Yeah, you were talking the other day about.
Or I don't know. You could call that classism, actually. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm open to that argument. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, you were talking the other day on the Philo stream, I think, about how it's more expensive to rent in most places than to pay a mortgage on a household.
Yep.
And I pay $300 more a month than my mom does, and my mom owns a house. And
Yep.
I rent a 2-bedroom apartment.
Exactly, bro. It's a scam.
It is 100% a scam. Everything you were saying, by the way, completely right. It's bullshit. There are more houses that are unvacated or vacated or whatever you call it that are empty without a body sleeping in there than there are homeless people.
Yeah, and also, like, not that I advocate people just giving up rooms in their homes to random people, but like the amount of people who own homes, whether it's like a single person or a couple or a family, but then the kids moved out and they have like like multiple, sometimes like several bedrooms that they don't use or like rooms that they don't use. Think about how much space is just going to waste. You know what I mean? Like these, like you could have like co-op housing and house like double, triple, quadruple the amount of people in some of these properties than are currently living in them, and it would totally be fine. You just have to like manage it in a pretty smart way. But there's all this space going to waste, and it's like, yeah, we just felt like having a big house. There used to be kids living here when we had like the family was living here, but they grew up and moved, and now there's just like 3 empty bedrooms. Oh, one is like the guest room and another one's like my workout room. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's like a lot of people just have houses where they like come up with excuses to like fill up the empty rooms that,
Yeah.
You could literally have like 5 or 6 single people living there, each having their own room.
Yeah, like I showed you a picture of my my work area. That's my work room. But I have my own bedroom that me and my girlfriend share.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, there's
but
nothing
more,
wrong with that.
yeah.
That's the thing too. You guys are 2 people, and you said you live in a 2-bedroom.
Hmm.
I think that's a pretty fair use of space, right? You know.
Yeah, she actually needs it because I have sleep apnea.
Ah,
That's
okay.
untreated.
You got that. You got those crazy nighttime snores.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
snore super loud, and my girlfriend, she's a very like she's not a heavy sleeper at all. Like it takes
Yeah.
her like forever to fall asleep. So more often than not, she just uses the guest room.
Mm-hmm.
But it sucks. But I don't have the money to go see a doctor right now, so she's just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, and there you go. You know, if you're in Canada, you could have gone to seen a doctor for that. You might have to wait a while, but it's like in America, you just if you don't have the money for it, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's another reason I want to do like the weight loss challenge with you is because I
Yeah.
know that sleep apnea gets worse and worse with
By
how
the
heavy you
way,
are.
when do we want to announce that? Because I'm ready to start doing that pretty much like right now.
I have lost like zero weight. I have my diet has been going like shit.
All I've been doing is like I used to calorie count for years, and it really helped me lose weight before. And I was still doing it for a while when I was gaining weight because I had to take like steroids and a bunch of shit, and not like obviously anabolic steroids for anybody out there. It's like, buh. It was more, steroid medication that they give you when you have like bad inflammation. In this case, it was the shit I have with my eyes. It's called uveitis. I've mentioned it before. But that shit made me gain crazy weight because I was taking like a fucking Prozac and benzo at the same time for anxiety. So like all that shit at the same time made me fucking balloon up, and I'm still like trying to drop weight from that. But
Right.
like, what are you at right now? Like, when was the
Uh,
last time you weighed yourself?
that last time that I sent you a picture, I
Okay.
was around 254.
Yeah,
But
I'm really not that far off. I think I'm like 230, 235 right now.
yeah, I have like an idea for a video
Yeah.
where I have like the American like I sent you
Yeah, you
the
you
script.
you showed me like the write up, yeah.
Yeah, I have a big American flag that I want to put behind me as like a background thing. I'm gonna get a mask. I'm gonna play the Star Spangled Banner as like an intro, and then I'm gonna give that that speech as like the way to announce it. I thought that would be like a cool kind of like showman way to do it. But
Yeah.
what do you think?
I mean, I think that's totally cool. I looked at what you showed me and I was like, yeah, yo, go ahead and do it. So whenever you're ready to do it, I'm ready to start. I've just been like calorie counting, you know. Like
Okay,
today I went over a bit, but I can literally just go for like a
give
fucking like 20-minute walk later around the neighborhood and burn off those calories, so like it's nothing.
yeah. Let me start making the video. It's gonna be like a 5 minute video.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, let me start making it. I'll slapdash it together, and I'll send it to you. I'll post it on my channel, and either I'll send it to her, I'll post it on my channel, and then you can just show it on a stream, and then
Yeah.
you can be like, "It's on, bitch,"
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then this is for the people watching this, the members that we're going to be kind of antagonistic towards each other. I would think, right?
Uh, sure. I mean, if you want to do that, we'll do kayfabe, but I don't really mind. I don't mind just doing like a friendly competition thing either.
Right.
It doesn't really matter much to me if you want to do kayfabe, we can do kayfabe, but sure. Alan, what's up? How's it going?
What's up, Alan? Lambert wants to know how my move went. Um, I've got like 80% of everything unpacked and set up. I'm
Hmm.
missing a bunch of furniture that I need.
Yeah,
Like I just bought.
he was asking how's the setup coming along. That's what I think he had said from the move. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got like my work set up. working pretty well. I just ordered a chair right before this stream.
Ooh, what kind?
Yeah.
Just like a normal office chair, or
Not a normal office chair. Hold on. Amazon. Let me
bro?
pull this up.
Maybe it's a waste of money, but I've been looking at different chairs, and I really need something that's ergonomic and has support because I do a lot of shit from just my desk here. So I'm thinking of getting one of those like really nice Secret Labs chairs, like saving up over like several months and getting one because they are expensive. But when they're on sale, you can get it for like a payment plan, and you kind of pay it off over like a couple months.
I sent something in chat. This is what I got. It's like $180 cloth gaming chair.
Let me blow this up.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's in my budget.
You know what I don't like? I don't like all of these fake companies where it's just like it's just like fucking smashing your fingers into a keyboard, and you always see it on Amazon because anybody can just like copy a product and manufacture it if they have capital and the know-how, and then kind of just like set up some bullshit company on Amazon and then sell it and then pay for it to be like the top placed like Amazon pick or like sponsored result. And it's like, oh man, fucking got some good mileage out of Herman Miller. So, what? Huh? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean like the chair? Herman Miller. Say, I'm so confused. Alan, I have no idea what you're talking about. You're gonna have to elaborate. Yeah, sorry, Gord. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, as for like my move, I've got all of my beds set up. I've got new furniture coming in. Everything is shaping up pretty nice. The only thing that is what I was talking about earlier is like the culture shock of moving to a completely new place. Like I feel honestly kind of like a country bumpkin living in the city, especially a nicer city like the one I'm living in is. But yeah, and honestly, like the place that I got, the 2-bedroom I got was relatively cheap. It's so fucking insane finding a place in Florida that is livable.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to afford it on my salary, but my girlfriend just started a job and she's making a pretty decent chunk of change now. And our combined salaries together, it's like, oh hell yeah, we can both afford this now. So quality of life just increased immediately.
Yeah. Alan in the chat says it's a popular brand of office chair, more entry level model than most companies splurge for. Ah, okay. Fair enough. I'm just trying to get a chair. Like, one thing I don't like about this chair that I'm using right now, even though it's like not a bad chair at all, is that the armrests they are in like the normal armrest position, and you can kind of flip them back up out of the way, but they don't sit flush with the chair, so they dig into your elbows. But then also you can't adjust them up or down, or kind of outwards or inwards. And I really want a chair that's like very kind of adjustable in like every sort of way. And it's kind of like jacked, like if you push the pin in that's in the like under the chair to make it so that it doesn't lean back. It kind of leans to like one side a little bit, and regularly like the pin will just kind of get like loose, which it shouldn't, and you'll just be sitting there and you'll just be like, oh shit, and you'll go backwards because it just like fell out. So it's like kind of like one of the cheaper ones off of Amazon, but I'll be getting probably a more expensive one at some point that's like a lot better. Also kind of like makes my back feel weird, like I'm always like kind of slipping down in the chair. Like I'll be kind of sitting like this, and then like people have noticed I'll just be like fucking like 5 inches lower in like a couple fucking minutes, or maybe 15-20 minutes or something. It's very random.
Well, that's what the vibrating lumbar pillow is meant for.
Oh shit! Vibrating lumbar pillow, goddamn.
Yeah, like they come with almost every gaming chair that I've seen, because they've got this vibrating pillow that's like on your lower back.
Hell yeah! Lambert says, I got an entry-level model of a locally made ergonomic chair. It's done wonders for my back. My lower back pain was gone in a week. Hell yeah.
Dude, let me tell you.
Alan also says, hell yeah, and he says, good chair makes a difference. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, like working for the past week has been a nightmare because I'm in this struggle chair right now. I'm in this $10 folding Walmart metal chair.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you commented on it. You were like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I was like, that's the chair you're using? God damn, bro.
Yeah, I've got this nice new desk that I got for a deal. Everything looks great except this chair.
Man, I've been using the same desk for probably like I don't even know, man, like fucking 13 years now. I've never even thought about getting I thought for like a minute about getting a new one, but I'm like, why the fuck would I pay for a new one when I still have one that's perfectly fine? You know?
I got originally I had this like cheap ass desk that was literally like wobbling after I moved out. I left that desk at my old place, just gave it to the landlord, said the new tenant was going to use it.
Yeah.
But now I got this elevated desk, this desk that can change. Like it's a standing desk. It could go from a standing to a sitting. The only issue is I have this heavy, like 80-pound Dell monitor, so it's super freaking hard to lift this thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
dude.
I have to curl my own desk up
I
for it to elevate.
mentioned it not too long ago, but I was using this like kind of TV as a monitor for a while. I had pretty good like color depth and everything. 28-inch, so I was like, okay, using this for a long time, and it died pretty recently. So I was like, fuck, I had to spend some money to get um a new monitor, and it's like this one's a 4K, like I think it's like a Samsung 4K monitor, and it's really fucking nice, but it's heavy as shit. And I have my monitors on like, you can get like a thing that clamps on the back of your desk, and there's like two arms that you can mount them on if you have like a
Yeah,
dual monitor display. And the fucking thing can't even hold it up. It's just bolted into it, and it kind of just sits like, fucking vertically on the table. And like if I want to like move it, I have to kind of like lift it up and kind of like move it. And then I have like this really tight like Asus monitor on the side. I think it's like 21 inches or something like that, 22 inches. It's like a bit smaller. But that one's like light as fuck, you know what I mean? And it's funny, just like using them in tandem.
yeah. I'm using a Dell monitor that I got from a friend that he's had for like years.
Yeah.
I got it for free basically because he was moving and he didn't have room for it, and he was just thinking about getting a new TV anyway.
Yeah.
So I said like I'll take it, and I have this Vizio TV that I use as a monitor that looks like a monitor that I use for sound.
Yeah. How long have we been going for? We've been going for an hour and 23 minutes. How do you feel about wrapping up now? Is there anything else you want to talk about before we head out, maybe?
Honestly, no. Like I've been pretty low energy this entire member stream. Not gonna lie.
Oh, it's all good, dude. I mean, these streams, when we do dark mode after dark, it really is more about kind of like relaxing, decompressing from all the other crazy shit that I do on this channel. Kind of just chatting about whatever we want to chat about, going back and forward with the live chat, and just kind of talking about, life, random stuff. It is what it is. It's what we do on this show.
If you ever have time and I start making videos, I do have this idea for a series called Train Wrecks. Either it's Train Wrecks or it's going to be called Car Crash, slow motion car crash.
I don't know if you've already done this, but I would definitely recommend making sure that nobody's used that name for like a podcast or something on YouTube before, because people get really anal about that.
Right, yeah. That's I'm still ballparking the name.
Sure.
But
ballparking, I like that.
yeah, but the whole idea behind it is just doing like a small deep dive, oxymoronic, Just doing a deep dive on people who are just slowly just destroying their life. Like, it could be like Ethan Ralph, it could be King Cobra. It doesn't have to necessarily be like lol cows,
Yeah.
but it's people
You know
who are
what?
just ruining-
I'd love to do that with you because I've wanted to cover Ethan Ralph for quite a while, but I've mentioned it before. I think you and probably some other people have heard me or asked me about it when I've said
Yeah.
it. But it's something that requires doing like at least several parts. Like you
Yeah.
need to like do you probably need to do one like 60 to 90-minute stream or like episode just to talk about like the rise of Ethan Ralph. Like he didn't have like a meteoric or like like crazy success, meteoric rise or crazy success, but he got fairly popular and was kind of like making money doing the kill stream and stuff like that, and he had his own blog, and he had his wife Nora at one point who seemed kind of like a normal person, not like some crazy weirdo.
Who was helping him run his blog.
And then you'd really need to like do like a 90-minute block just to set all that up, and then you go into like everything that happened probably like I don't know post 2018 or 19, I'd say.
I don't know, man. I feel like it was like all the money because he was making money at a certain time. He was making good money, and I feel like it was that money.
He did crazy shit though. Not to cut you off, but like when he when he was with Nora and he went to Knoxville, he got a fucking prostitute when he was down there, or an escort, I should say. But whatever,
Yeah, he cheated on Nora multiple times.
Yeah, he's just an
idiot.
idiot.
Then Nora finally was like, "I'm leaving, done."
Yeah,
and he's repeated this with like 2 other women now.
He literally fucking put out revenge porn with a girl.
Yeah,
it's insane. Like Lambert Star says, my Samsung monitor has the same problem. All too heavy to adjust it, so it just sits at a 90-degree angle on the table. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on with mine. Alan says, gonna jet. Just wanted to pop in and say hi before rehearsal. Glad you guys are alive after yesterday's marathon. Well, I was saying before, I had a fucking like very terrible panic attack after that, and like my panic attacks, like I'm not mentally like freaking out. It was just like my whole body was like convulsing. I was getting like bad chest pain. I had to like lie down and just kind of like for like a decent hour because I was just like I fucking I used up everything in the tank yesterday, and I was also drinking and not taking my meds and smoking a bunch of weed, so it really is, I think, an issue with my body's ability to like regulate serotonin. So if I get like a major serotonin dip or a major serotonin spike and my body can't handle it, it just freaks the fuck out. But it's just something where I just lie there and I'm like, ugh, this bullshit again. All right, I'll just wait it out. Do some controlled breathing, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm just thankful I don't have worse like mental anxiety. Is like, as you say anxiety and people think of like worrying, freaking out, like, bursting into tears, all that stuff. I know some people have panic attacks like that. But my shit is just like chest pain, muscle tension, where it feels like your body is trying to force your muscles to like just contract as hard as possible. It really is unfortunate. And, like these days it isn't as painful as it used to be. It's still kind of painful, but it's just like the most uncomfortable thing you can go through. Probably besides like, I don't know, somebody shoving something up your dick if you're a guy, maybe. Like maybe that would top it, but yeah. Anyways, dude, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We did a solid 90 minutes. Thank you for coming on, man. I really enjoy doing these, honestly, just kind of hanging out and chatting. Definitely let me know what you're thinking about those series and stuff that you want to do, because I think I could do a decent amount to help you kind of produce it. If you need any tips with OBS, definitely let me know, because I've been using it for a long ass time. I know some shortcuts.
Like I said, I just downloaded OBS I think like an hour or 2 before we started this, and I was just fiddling with it. But I did do like one of my first recordings. I'm looking at crap, what are they called? I can't think or talk right now.
Overlays?
Oh yeah, I did look at overlays, but like tutorials for using it. It seems relatively straightforward and easy.
Bro, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of, I mean, we saw that Brett Keane OBS tutorial. That was like one of the worst ones ever. Honestly,
I'll,
if you have a lot of questions, I honestly just send them to me. I could definitely help you answer a lot of them pretty quickly.
could you?
I wouldn't mind helping you with that.
I need to find that OBS tutorial and see if I can copy what he's
Dude,
doing.
that video was so funny where he's like, you know, a lot of other fucking users might waste your time with a bunch of bullshit at the beginning of their tutorial, and he goes on for that, for like doing like minutes just rambling, and it's like, it's literally what you're fucking doing right now. It's like, oh my god, he really is one of the funniest fucking dumbasses online ever, Brett Keane. Oh,
I need to go back and rewatch that stream about Brett Keane.
dude,
That was gold.
I will say, when you and I and Treptamine get together and we fuck on like Brett Keane and Steven Seagal and Jack Scalfani and shit like that, like, because we've done that a couple times at this point. That shit is like some of the most fun, like hilarious streams in my opinion. I might unlock that triple feature for public viewing maybe in like a couple weeks because I think it's really funny.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you keep in the part about where I was constantly just talking about a stroke?
I think so.
Okay, good.
I don't think I cut anything like that. No.
Because I was just roasting this guy about how he couldn't use his arm.
That gimp arm. Oh, fuck. Jack Scalfani really is a piece of shit. Anyways, hold up. Sorry, what are you gonna say?
I don't know. There are bigger pieces of shit, but definitely is a piece of shit.
He's like that subtle kind of piece of shit that goes under the radar, though, you know? Like, when you find out the stuff that he does behind closed doors, you're like... And his politics are fucking, like, absolutely abhorrent, too, yeah.
We gotta watch some of him talking to his brother, because they do a podcast. They
Dude, that shit is so garbage. Oh my god.
What about?
I would get mad watching it, but that's probably why we should probably do it. It'd be funny as hell.
Shit. What about that one guy that I found?
Oh, no, I've already... That Seth guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already planning out how to even structure a thing, but I'm gonna cover him. I know you're probably not gonna like this because I feel like you have some sort of like, I don't know, I feel like the guy is like kind of endearing to you, but I've taken the opposite stance. I think he's I think he's internet cancer, and that's the subtitle that I'm gonna go with.
So far, I've noticed that I don't think he's like he's not doing like what Cobra does. He's just doing his own thing, and he's just really awkward.
He's like one of the most insane spammers that I've ever found in like YouTube history.
Yeah.
The way that he spams the same videos over and over, just trying to like luck into the algorithm. Apparently it's happened a few times for him, so.
Yeah, maybe that's how he got his following.
I personally think his subscribers are bots, but I don't know. His views, I think, are real, though, because he has gotten into the algorithm a decent amount of times. You can just tell. Because, like, when you do that, like, it's like buying, like, all the lottery tickets. At some point, you're going to buy the winning ticket. You know what I mean? It's just a numbers game.
Right. Like, the other day, though, like, I don't know. He is a weirdo. I'll give you that. He definitely is a weirdo. And there is something, like, wrong with him.
Yeah.
But, you know, from what I've seen so far, crud, I've known people that are kind of like him.
Dude, wait, before I end this, I just want to ask you, have you seen his weird, creepy cartoons that he makes?
Yeah, I've seen like a couple, and I'm just like...
Have you seen the video where he explains that he's intentionally making like overtly sexual, shocking stuff that is also like kind of geared towards like kids, and he's doing it.
I haven't seen that. I've
it's
heard
on.
him talk.
Okay, all I'll say is go to that. I think it's called like Jungle Jim Seth or something like that. One of his channels. Go there and look within the last like one or two dozen videos, And he's like, I think the title of the video is like, I may have gone too far with the shock value and so blah blah blah. Like it's a title like that. Go check that out. I think that might tip your opinion of him in a different direction.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming on, man. I'm gonna end it now. I'm gonna go play the new System Shock remake over on Twitch. I'm really excited about that. Really been excited to check that shit out. Let me tell you that. That game got delayed so many times.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. We'll probably definitely do another stream again soon. But see you later for now, and I'll talk to you offline, bro.
Yep, I'll see you.
All right, peace out, dude.
Peace.
All right, thank y'all for coming out. Love you guys. Love the members. Be doing another stream tomorrow. I'm gonna put up a poll tonight to see what you guys want tomorrow's stream to be. But for now, I'm heading out. You guys have a good one. Thank y'all for being lovely members, and you guys have a good night, and peace the fuck out.